All right, what's going on out there, folks? Rooster here in Tennessee. Going to do a little demonstration video here. I think I have done something like this with a 4-pill before. I can't remember if I've done it with a 2-pill or not. Yeah, I have done it with a 2-pill, but I'm going to do it again because this 2-pill 2879C is pending sold, and the guy that's getting it plans on running it with a Stryker 655. I just so happen to have this 447, which is for sale. Now, let's go ahead and say this radio hasn't been heavily modded, basically just set up to talk, converted, and that's it. Hasn't had any kind of crazy mods, power mods, swing mods, anything like that done to it. So our RF power is gonna cut back our output a little bit, but that could be kind of a good thing, running it into this 2-pill. But first things first, what we're going to show is the output of this radio. And then we'll get into the output of the amplifier with the radio. But I want you guys to see the drive levels that we're putting into it. No secrets held or anything like that. And again, this radio is for sale. Make somebody a good deal on this, and it will make an excellent companion to one of these 2-pill 2879Cs. Like I said, the guy that's supposed to get this, it's pending sold to him. As long as he pays the invoice within 24 hours, obviously it's his, just like everybody else. If not, I'll go on to the next person. But 2-pill 2879C and one of these Strykers makes a really good combination. Usually use our little Uniden, but no sense in using it when he's going to be running a Stryker. Now, that being said, RF power is all the way down. We're on average power on our 50-watt slug. Don't expect a lot of average power with it all the way down, but once we start turning the RF power up, you'll see this radio come alive. So 3-watt dead key, audio. You know, audio on 4, whistling maybe 5. On PEP, test, 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 test. Audio 1 2 3, audio 1 2 3, audio 1 2 3, audio 1 2 3, audio. 35 to 40. Now, all I'm going to do is turn this up in increments, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and then I'll go wide open at the end. 9 o'clock right there. Let's see if that changes our PEP. It changed it a little bit. That put us around 45 to 50 watts. Test, 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 audio test, 1 2 3, audio. We'll catch average power on the way back down. 12 o'clock. Now, this is probably going to bury the slug. Audio test 1 2 3, audio test 1 2 3, audio test 1 2 3, audio test 1 2 3. 50 to the wall, basically. And now we're just going to go wide open, still on peak. Audio test 1 2 3, 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 audio test. 50 to the wall. You're probably saying, well, he didn't show how much he's dead keying. We're going to catch that on the way back down. We're going to go all the way back down and show average output and dead key before we drive it into the amp. So wide open on the dead key here. 13.5 watts. This is average power. Whistling 25. Audio and over 20. Talking. Talk. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. 17, 18 watts average. Now, again, we're going to back it down. Let's go to 12 o'clock. Dead keys over 10 watts. Whistling over 20. Talk. Audio talk 1 2. Talking 14 or 15. And then here we go. Back down to 9 o'clock. That's about a 6-watt dead key. Audio just creeping past 10 watts average on audio. 15 on the whistle. So that's what we're working with here, and I will show peak output on the 1,000-watt slug with this thing wide open once we're all done. I'll have to remind myself, but once we're all done testing the amp, I'll turn this wide open and show you the PEP output on a 1,000-watt slug, so you know what the radio will do by itself. So all the way open, 15-watt dead key or whatever, 15, 16 watts. Safe operating parameters for the radio. If you just want to buy this radio and run it alone, you're not going to kill it by dead keying too much. Got it set up where it only go up to about 15 watts, 16 watts. So safe operating parameters. Audio. There you go. What was that showing me? My SWR? Yeah. But anyway, let's get on with the show here. Let's turn the amp on. Now, I probably shouldn't even show it with it all the way down because it's not going to show much average power output, but we do want to see the PEP output with it all the way down. Remember, we're only swinging, what, 35, 40 watts peak, like 5 watts average. Oh, I've got to get that slug out there. Let's go to our trusty 1000 watt slug element, if you want to be technical about it. 1000 watts, bottom scale. 20 watt dead key off of 3 watts. Whistling 60. Now if you remember, we're doing like 5 watts average going in, so getting 60 watts average out, that's not too bad. Let's go to PEP, where we were seeing about 35 or 40. Test, 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 audio test, audio test, audio test, audio test. Bouncing around 350 or so, occasionally jumping up to 400. Now, what we're going to do is going to turn this on up right there around 9 o'clock. Let's do the same thing. Test, 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 audio test, audio test, audio test. We're over 400 now. And remember, at 9 o'clock, we were getting about 45 to 50 PEP. Test audio, audio, radio, audio, radio. Just for kicks, let's see what it's doing on average. Audio, 120, 140 watts. It's about a 90 watt, 80 watt dead key. Really, that's about as high as I would want to go with the dead key. And we're only swinging 45 or 50 watts into the 2-pill. Now, I'm going to do a brief test just for PEP purposes. But I would not recommend dead keying, you know, over what we're putting into it right now. I think that was about 6 watts, 6 watts. And that's giving us a 80 to 90 watt dead key. That's, you know, some people's opinion, that's still okay. That's a little high for my taste. I'd rather be around 50 or 60 watts dead key. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to go up here one time just to test it on PEP. Again, the dead key is going to be too high. Don't recommend running a dead key that high. People do it. I don't recommend it myself. So let's go to PEP. Now remember here, we were putting 50 watts in the corner. Just for the sake of it, let's test what it's doing here on the 1000 watt slug. This is just the radio, 1, 2, 3, audio test, 1, 2, 3, audio test, 1, 2, 3. So close to 100 watts is what it's showing. Now that's a 1000 watt slug. If we had a 100 watt slug in there, it might be showing 80 or 90 watts, but that's a general ballpark of what we're going to see. Okay, 100 watts PEP, 90 watts, whatever you want to call it, going into the 2-pill. Test, test, audio, test, audio, test, audio, audio, test, 1, 2, 3, audio, test, 1, 2, 3, audio, test, 1, 2, 3. Turn it on up a little bit, see if it makes a difference. Audio, test, 1, 2, 3, audio, test, 1, 2, 3, audio, test, 1, 2, 3. So getting close to 100 or 500 watts there. Now again, this is with a radio that has not been heavily modified. You get one of these, it's got MPC mods in it and stuff like that. Expect this amp to do 500 to 600 watts. Again, realistically, yes, it's showing about 100 watts peak on that 1000 watt slug. It's probably not doing that much. It's probably doing more along 75 watts to 85 watts. Since it hasn't had NPC mods and all that stuff done to it. Just a clean talking radio. Let's see. What else can we do? What else? I think that's about it, guys. Just demoing this little 2-pill C here. Now, again, we're only running the C box at 14.4. That's what our power supply says. Could be 14.5. Who really knows? That meter could be deceiving us. But these things will run 15, 15.5 volts. And if we were running it that high, I have no doubt that you're going to see, even with this little radio here, you're going to see 500, 550, maybe even more. But, we were getting close to 500 with this radio going in. I'd say that's pretty good for a radio that hasn't been heavily modded. I did test it with the Uniden earlier, and it did about 385 peak. And that's with a 40-watt radio going in. So everything's basically on par. One thing, we'll check and see how much it's drawing. Now, this is the radio and the amp. Let's put our power back up there. Test, 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 test. Still under 30 amps with the radio and the amp running. Radio drawing about 5, amp drawing, 23, 24. That's it, guys. I hope this test is upfront, honest, nothing held back, not hiding anything. Like I said, Stryker, yes, showed 100 watts peak on a 1,000-watt slug. When your slug or your element is a lot higher than what you're actually doing, it's going to become a little inaccurate. So realistically, radio's probably not doing that much. For someone that's interested in the radio, it's probably doing about 75 to 80 PEP. If it was doing 100, it also would have buried the 50-watt slug a lot harder. It laid it against the corner, but didn't slap it against the wall. That's it, man. I hope everybody's happy with the video. Something different, just to show you kind of what to expect. Again, radio has not been super tuned or anything like that. Just a good, clean talking 447. If you're interested in this radio, let me know. 2-pill is pending till tomorrow at this time. Catch you guys out there. Check out the website, roostercb.com. Constantly adding new items. Inventory is a little low right now, but we're getting stuff loaded up there every day. Catch you guys out there. Questions, comments, complaints, shoot me a text, 423-299-3535. Rooster in Tennessee. See you, bye.